everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. It is June, which is Pride Month, so it's time to bust out all the rainbow accessories and t-shirts and everything else that I have, and I figured why not, while bringing all that out of the closet again, why not put some sparkle and some rainbow onto a card. So today's card is a sparkle and rainbow inspired, I guess it could be birthday card, but I guess it could be just about anything, to tell you the truth, because the greeting says, hope your day sparkles. Really, that could be used for many different ways, and a lot of times I'll leave my cards blank on the inside, like you see here, so that way I can fill in my own message and make it fit whatever occasion is happening. So let's go ahead and see how I put this rainbow inspired card together. Okay guys, you remember when I put this card together, I used some Strathmore Bristol paper in order to make the hexagons, and I think, if I remember correctly, I also did it on the card panel itself. I used the Bristol paper because you can blend Distress inks so nicely on them. So I wanted to kind of, I didn't want to waste this piece. Like, there is still a lot you could do with this piece. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to cut this piece down, and I bought some new stamps from Lawn Fawn. Did I need more stamps from Lawn Fawn? Absolutely not. Did I go ahead and buy the stamps and the dies? Yeah, absolutely I did. I couldn't pass up this cute little unicorn set, Hope Your Day Sparkles. It has little fairies, little sparkle marks, and all sorts of fun stuff. So, and it was a pretty good price too for both of these. So I went ahead and ordered them on Simon Says Stamp. And I couldn't wait to use these. I think these will be perfect for this card. I'm going to cut this panel down and we'll kind of piece this together. I'm kind of playing today. I don't really have like a final vision in my head. I'm just going to play around a little bit and see what all I can kind of create. So that's what we're going to start off with, and let's go ahead and cut this panel down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so that way it fits onto an A2 size card. Okay, as you can see, I have cut the panel down. You probably saw I took several kind of smaller chunks off. I didn't know exactly where these hexagons were going to end up, and I'm not even quite sure which way I want to have up yet. So I'm kind of playing around with that, and of course I wanted to take small amounts off so that way it wasn't lopsided to one side or the other. It looks fairly centered for the most part, and that's great. But you'll also notice on the edges that I did end up I haven't gone back and filled those in, and I'm not going to. I kind of like that textured or like off kilter look to it, so I'm gonna leave it like that and not worry about it. I am gonna use some water though and just kind of sprinkle it on top. I'm gonna spray it into my hand so that way I can get some drips going and kind of add a little bit of texture, because I feel like it's slightly, not boring is the word I'm looking for, but like I could definitely add a little bit to it by adding some texture, and that's what I'm gonna do here. Alright, I like how that texture looks. It's hard to see on camera, but I like the little bit of texture that adds. I'm gonna set that aside for now, let that continue drying, and we'll go ahead and stamp and then color using our unicorn. I'm going to be stamping today using my Tim Holtz stamp platform, and I'm going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I used the Memento today because of the fact that it is Copic friendly and I can use my Copic markers, which is how I will be coloring this in today. So I'm going to stamp this out using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyways, I'm probably going to have to stamp, that's not too bad, but I will stamp it again just for good measure. And then I will color it in using my Copic markers. I don't have a very wide selection of Copic markers, and so I'm just gonna kind of use what I have and hope that that works. Eventually, of course, I would like to get a whole lot more, but they are very expensive, and so because of that, it's hard for me to get them very frequently. I usually will get them when I get a 50% off coupon at Michael's, and I can use that coupon on Copics most of the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning this up, and then I'll show you how I color this in. I hope the colors that I have will work, but it should be just fine. I also wanted to mention that I'm just using some regular paper that you get from like Michael's, I don't remember the brand name, but it's nothing special. It's definitely not a Bristol or anything of that nature. It's just regular old run-of-the-mill crafting paper. Okay, there's the unicorn all filled in. The good thing about unicorns is in most of the versions that I've seen is they're white, so I didn't have to fill in the body of it. A lot of people will give them rosy cheeks. I'm not a big fan of giving rosy cheeks to any cutouts really, so I usually skip that, but I think this worked out well, and it's simple, which is great because, you know, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I'm all about that. So I like how this came out. Let's go ahead and do some die cutting. I have the dies and I have a pair of snips, so I'm gonna snip this die set out and then we'll do a little bit of die cutting. Okay, I got my little unicorn cut out. I know it's kind of hard to see that far away, but we'll do a close-up in just a minute. I'm going to use a card base that is Neenah Solar White 110-pound cardstock, and on top of that I found some of this very shiny reflective foiled cardstock or cardboard or something. Unfortunately, it has some damage to it, so I'm hoping I'll be able to kind of hide that on this card, but honestly I don't think anybody will really notice. I have, as you can see, it's like really scuffed up and not probably pristine and as beautiful as I would like it to be, but you know, sometimes you work with what you got. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This will be the background for our card that's peeking through the holes or hexagons on just like this. Okay, here's my cut down metallic piece, and I'm gonna grab some of my adhesive and add that onto the back so that way it will stick to my card. I'm actually gonna switch, I was just gonna use my regular dot liner, but I'm gonna switch to the Tombow Extreme because I feel like this will need a little bit more help sticking onto the card base, and the Extreme adhesive is great because it really makes sure that everything stays completely stuck down, so I'm gonna use that. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the colored hexagon piece in just a second. Okay, so we're going to take our hexagon piece and we're going to flip it over, and we're going to be adding a lot of foam adhesive onto the back of it. I also have some more foam adhesive over here to make it a little easier, hopefully. I hate doing large portions of foam adhesive, but honestly, I think that's what's gonna happen for this one, as I really want this to be popped up off the surface. So wish me luck on this. Okay, this is definitely a bang-up job of foam tape, but anyways, we'll go ahead and attach this onto our card base. I like to stand it up like this. It makes it a little easier to somewhat line it up. It's not gonna be perfect, but at least it gets me a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, cool. Excellent. So my idea worked just like that. So there we go. Perfect. All right, cool. So that looks like a lot of fun, and it does reflect the inside of the card a little bit. I forgot about that, to be 100% honest. I forgot that it reflects, but in a weird way it gives it this really cool three-dimensional look. So I'm definitely gonna keep that and move on from there. Okay, I've added some foam tape onto the back of my unicorn, and I think I'm going to place it maybe right about here, so that way it's mostly on the card, like nothing's gonna be hanging over into those little areas right there. Good, perfect. Okay, now let's do our Hope Your Day sparkles. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put those, so I've got to think for a moment what I want to do with that, so hang on. Okay, I have cut some pink cardstock. This was just pink cardstock that I had on hand, and I am going to put the Hope Your Day Sparkles. I've already put that up onto my stamp positioner. I think I have it the way I want. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little wonky. It's not a big deal. I'm also going to try some of this Icicle, I think is what it is, from Brutus Monroe. I'm going to use some of my VersaFine ink in order to ink this up, as I would like a really good impression. It's kind of a smaller stamp, and I want to make sure that it has something to stick to whenever I'm stamping it down. The embossing powder, that is. I forgot I need to use my anti-static powder tool and just do a little bit of anti-static on this. That way the powder stays just where I want it and doesn't go anywhere that I don't. Stick that there like that, put that there like that, and then we'll close the door and hope that this works. Perfect! It did it just exactly what I wanted it to do. So now I'm going to take some of this embossing powder and sprinkle it right on top of my stamp. This one was so small I had to hold it with some tweezers, because otherwise I might have burned my fingers off. Alright, so we'll set that aside and get all of this stuff cleaned up, and we'll continue on. Okie dokie, some more foam tape on the back of this circle piece. I used to be so against foam tape. I know y'all have heard me say that before, but I really used to be so against it. But now I'm kind of a fan of it. So anyways, there we go, just like that. Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it. By the way, I can't remember if I told y'all or not, the circle is a Simon Says Stamp circle, stitch circle. Alright, before we finish up, let's add a little bit more sparkle. I don't bust this pin out very often, the Wink of Stella, because I usually don't have an excuse to use it, but you know what? Let's break it out today. For this one, I think it really calls for the Wink of Stella to add just a hint more sparkle. I'm going to add it onto the hair, the mane, and the unicorn horn for our unicorn, and then of course on the tail as well. Alright, it might be hard to see the sparkle from that Wink of Stella, but I promise you it is there. Really fun card, lots of sparkle, lots of shine, and I think whoever ends up with this one is really gonna love it. I'm not always a fan of sparkle and shine, but I'm always a fan of rainbow, and today I think using both of those in combination was a lot of fun and really made for a distinctive card. I also think the asymmetry of this card really makes it pretty awesome as well. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, let YouTube know that you liked my video, and then hopefully it'll share it across YouTube land. Also, make sure if you're not already, hit that button down below that says subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and get great updates every time I post a new video or go live by clicking the bell icon. You can also check out my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all over social media places. Make sure to get social with me, say hello, show me what you're working on, and let's get social. I hope everybody has a great day. Remember guys, normal's just setting on the dryer. Bye!